Well, you got that right.
Serious, man. You cannot be serious.
You're such a man of, you're just such a man of habit, a person of habit, because we're gender neutral. You're a person of habit. We're doing this a day early because of the Melbourne Cup, and you've come in here. You're so truculent and petulant that
we could have done.
You're irritable.
We could have done it Melbourne Cup Day.
Why would we do it on Melbourne Cup Day when people are getting prepared to listen to the Cup and go through the form? We will give them
all morning, though. People would sit down and look at the Melbourne Cup all morning. They prepare all morning.
We will give them some tips that we have from very prominent people. I know nothing about horse racing, and I've got a feeling you don't either, besides horse bits. You know nothing about it, so you pretend you do. So we'll ask someone. I tell you who we're going to speak to today. We will say this now. We're going to speak to Dennis Pagan. Do you know who he is?
Trained the Derby winner.
Get your hand away from your mouth.
Trained the Derby winner.
Okay, you know who he is, do you? We're going to speak to him on the phone. We'll ask him some questions he's probably never been asked before, because I know nothing about horse racing. He'll probably have been asked every single question, but I bet we can come up with some questions that he's never heard of, or I can come up with them. You can just tag along, Don. Don't ask him about horse bits, for God's sake, if you get him on. And then we're going to speak
Listen, half an hour we've got for the segment. Please don't continue. Come on.
What do you mean, don't continue?
Well, you're going on with a lot of bullshit. Just let's get to the chase.
We'll jump right in. Go to the chase.
Okay. We talk football. What are we doing?
Get your
what are we
hand
doing?
away from your mouth.
Sport? We're doing sport.
No, we're not doing sport, Donald. We're doing general. And just so, see, I put the onus on you and you say
general?
Don't speak bullshit. You've got a list of shit there and you've turned the page over
Wrong
three
page.
times. You've got nothing to say. And the other person we've got coming in is Rex Hunt. And Rex is going to speak to us about a whole lot of things, but you know why primarily we've got him in, Don?
No.
Don't you?
No.
He's going to do I presume it will have to be a phantom race call. I'm not sure if he'll go through the Cup runners or he'll make up some names, but he is very good at it, and he's going to come in and be live in the studio and do a phantom call of, we presume, the Melbourne Cup, but it could be about anything, Don.
Well, that's very good. That's good, because I was sick in bed when he was on last time, where he and Michael had
with
a spate.
Kalichi virus. What'd you have? You had chlamydia.
Chlamydia. He and Michael were at it. I've listened to that podcast 3 times, and I want to know what happened.
Do you chortle?
Will you shut up and let me finish? I'd like to know what happened when he got to Turin in the car. Friday night he took off. He drove at Turin, woke up in Turin, and 3 black fellows got out of the car.
Black fellows?
Well, that's what he said at Turin. I don't know why he got out of the car. Why? 3 black fellows were there. I think he went to the back of the car and got a tyre lever.
The youths of African
tyre lever,
appearance.
and then the next thing he remembers is waking up in the Turin hospital. And I'd like to know what happened between Turin and the black fellow. and
You're amusing yourself, Donald.
And the psychiatric ward at the Turin Hospital.
What a tremendous piece of therapy. You've actually brightened yourself up.
I
You're
have.
laughing at your own material.
No, I'm not. That is not material. That's fact. I'm a plagiarist. I'm pinching Rex.
So you're saying Rex said he had 3 black fellows, which
Didn't
I'm
you
not
listen?
sure
You
what
never
that means.
listened.
They could be youths
No,
of
he
African appearance, or I don't know who else they'd be. They got in the back of a ute and beat him.
He got out of his car. Why he got out of the car in Turin, I don't know. That's the first thing you can remember, leaving 3AW. And he went to the back of the car and got a tyre. Why did he go to the back of the car and get a tyre?
You reckon I'm speaking shit, Don? You said, right, let's get into it. You're just speaking drivel. And you're not only are you
repeating
speaking
stories we've already had on.
Not only are you speaking drivel.
Have a listen to little Sir Echo over here.
Not only are you speaking,
who riddled his bucket.
Not only are you speaking drivel, Donald, but you're actually amusing yourself, which I'd like you to continue, because you came in here as black as a thundercloud, and now you've lightened.
I'm like you.
You've lightened
I'm
yourself.
like you. As soon as the microphone light goes on, I change.
Oh, what into what? A professional into a professional broadcaster.
Smart ass from Braybrook. Shut up.
What are you're eating?
Can he eat? Kit
What's wrong
Kats.
with you? What's wrong with you people? How professional are you? You've got nothing to say, Don, and you're just eating Kit Kats while I'm speaking. It's extraordinary. So anyhow, we got Dennis Pagan. We're going to get him on the line, and Rex is coming in to do a call. Now, Don, there's a number of things that we could speak about. First of all, can I ask you, last week we had Tony Jewell on the phone. What did Damien Hardwick say to him when he rang him up or texted him, I presume, responding to Tony's congratulatory...
No, Damien Hardwick didn't respond.
Still, to this day?
Well, I don't know. I haven't taken it up with Tony.
Haven't you?
No. So what are you on about?
Well, I was going to say, what did Damien Hardwick say when he responded?
He hasn't responded.
Well, you said you don't know. You said you haven't spoken to him.
No, but I don't...
What do you mean, no?
Is this like... What do you...
Well, last week people would have been left in the air, and I said, when Damien Hardwick is aware that he hasn't responded... What was that? Oh, Christ.
Emergency.
What?
It's emergency. There's a fire in Tremaine Court, Carrum Downs.
We're in Port Melbourne, Doc.
I know, but when you live in the country, you've got to be aware of what is going on. That's an app. You don't know whether a bushfire is coming. You've got to get prepared.
Oh, in Port Melbourne, a bushfire's coming.
No, but this... Anyway, continue. Who are we talking about? Damien Hardwick.
We were talking about last week.
Listen,
you said
John Tony wrote him a text or a couple of texts, and he just didn't. He hasn't replied. So
and
that's the bottom
I'm
line.
continuing on to make in context. People were wondering what Damien Hardwick, who would have known now, probably someone might.
Why? Why would he know now?
I'm about to tell you. Someone might have told him that we mentioned it on the podcast because
we got that many listeners.
Should we start again?
I get.
That's an impression.
That's an impression of snorting coke, Don. I wouldn't do that.
Oh.
What are you pointing at me for? What
That
did
was
you?
an
What did
impression-
you
that
go?
was an impression of
hang
you.
on, hang on. What did you go? Ha 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 ha. What I said.
Can you believe two men talking like this?
Hey, Don.
Can you? There's no difference between children and adults except the toys they play with.
Yeah, and
We
you
are
was-
recording, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, are we?
And yeah, that's right.
Anyway,
Don,
listen. If you come
just 1 minute, Don. When I said that sounds like an impersonation of you snorting coke, what did you point at me and go, oh, ho, 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 ho. What did you do that for? What did you do that for?
That was my impression of you.
Go, what, go like snorting coke? So why are you saying
Hay
that?
fever.
Why are you saying that, Don?
I'm not saying anything. I'm just...
Oh, there's the phone again. Another bushfire alert?
I better shut this phone down.
Oh, no. Oh, please. Don't start now, Don. I knew a man who had a couple... He's back from the war. He had 2 wooden legs and he got caught in a bushfire. He was burnt to the ground.
What has that got to do with the phone call?
Well, because you said there was a bushfire raging through Carrum.
Anyway, come on.
Listen,
Let's
what
just
about
say
the
so.
ring?
Alright.
Have you been through this ring of steel? Have you driven anywhere where you've gone through this ring of steel? What a ridiculous thing it is. Is it just a token? The one on the Peninsula Link has got 2 army officers. Are they token ADF personnel?
Sam's been going through it for weeks.
Have you really? Have you been going through that Peninsula Link?
No, I haven't been through the Peninsula Link. I go round it.
Exactly right, and that's what I said yesterday. This is ridiculous.
it is,
and
honestly.
the gentleman's manning it. They're there at night. The lights are on. Said exactly
No
the
one's
same
home.
thing. I said I can go half a dozen ways around here, and you're just
but
manning one particular place. There's not a million. There's a number of ways you can get to the Mornington Peninsula, and all they're doing, and the same at Coldstream. They got one at Coldstream.
It's
You can go
pathetic.
out through Madden's Lane, you can go Victoria Road, and they're on the Melba Highway. God, what a ridiculous... This government...
Oh, ha, ha. So I've been on about this for 4
I know
months,
you have.
and you keep saying,
I know,
give them a break. Who
That's
would do
right.
it better?
I know, and I was critical of when you used the word corrupt.
Corrupt.
You were
Liars.
You were behind. You were
What?
so far in front. I've got to admit,
Ahead of the curve, Don.
Yes, you were. I've got to take my hat off to you.
You've taken it off. You've taken that beret
I
off
said
today.
I'm acknowledging your foresight.
Do you know, you're as
what?
bald as a badger. Do you know that?
Well, I shave it.
You shaved it. Well, you can usually tell if there's stubble on top of your cranium. There's no stubble on top of your cranium. You just got warts.
Speaking of government,
Warts.
Yeah, go on.
how excited were you, Sam, when the Golden Bear?
No, we're getting onto that.
Well, I
What
wanted-
Golden
come
Bear?
on.
What golden bear? We're going to get on to...
Hang on.
Whether
Wait,
you-
hang on.
Why can't we get on it now?
Get on to it now. I'm asking.
Can we finish one topic?
We're not on a topic.
Yes, we are. I was on about Tony Jewell and Damien
I
Hardwick.
just told
didn't
you.
respond.
No,
he's
you
hasn't responded. Now let's get to the Golden Bear, please.
You interrupted me. I said, has Don? I said, has Tony Jewell? Well, he said last... I
He
said,
said no.
no, he said he hadn't spoken to him.
That's right. That's the answer.
Well, that's not the answer. You don't know if he's responded
we
or
have
not.
to put up with this every Sunday night.
Sunday?
Sunday night, don't you remember?
What's Sunday night?
When we,
Talk about
when
the
we
quiz
used to
again.
do that bloody quiz
Oh,
on the
John,
Sunday. I put up with this
That's
shit
50 years ago.
That's right, and you haven't changed. It's shit. Now let's get on to the Golden Bear. What are you talking about?
Well, Don, whether you like it or not, now we're on to it, I'm going to speak about American politics, whether you like it or not, because the most...
The Golden Bear is that Trump.
Jack Nicholas.
Oh, Jack Nicholas.
The Golden Bear. You reckon Donald Trump's called the Golden
I
Bear, do you?
would not know.
That's correct. You would not know. You know nothing. I know nothing, Schultz. You'll be shot. Don, now that we're on to
Schultz
American...
was the one who said, I know nothing, wasn't it?
That's what I said. Schultz, I know nothing. I said that.
Let's just regroup, all right? Let's just concentrate. Let's regroup.
Oh, no. So, Don, we're going to get on to American politics, whether you like it or not, because it's in all the newspapers and in all the news, because this is the most important election in the United States ever, for one simple reason. It's whether you have a senile, stupid man who is incontinent and has dementia and has dementia that is a token president in dopey Joe Biden, whether he runs that country and turns it into a socialist organisation, because he'll have nothing to do with it, because the party will be swamped. He will be swamped by the party.
Or we can elect a president who's got syphilis and he's gone crazy.
Or we can, or they will elect Donald Trump again, who is...
Mental.
Who, whether you, no matter what you think of him, is a free enterprise capitalist. So it's whether the capital...
One guy's incontinent and this guy's a free enterprise capitalist.
As well as incontinent. How do you know he's incontinent?
I don't think
No,
I know.
number two, dementia.
He's got dementia.
He's got,
He
really?
is clinically ill, Donald. You only have to watch him operate, and that's...
Why would they put him up?
Go back to the incontinent.
Why would they put him up? It's a great question. They put him up because he is if you know what this means, a Trojan horse. Do you know what a Trojan horse means? They just pile, that's what a Trojan horse
Greeks
is.
built one.
Yeah, I know what the Greeks did. It's in mythology, and they
That's
climbed
right.
inside and
That's
pushed
right.
it into Troy. I know all that. So let's
That's
get...
But you
exactly...
didn't say yes, did you? That's all.
That's exactly
I'm
what
not
it is.
going to acknowledge you.
That's exactly what it is. It's like a weekend at Bernie's. He is clinically dead, theoretically clinically dead, and they'll ride on his coattails hoping he'll get elected, and then they'll change the whole agenda of that country into a socialist...
Who is they?
The people who are infiltrating the Democratic Party. The Green New Deal people, the people who want open borders, the people who want free schooling and healthcare and university, just want socialist platform.
Anyway,
now
Jack Nicklaus.
So Jack Nicklaus, who, if you know who Jack Nicklaus is, the greatest golfer of all time,
the Golden Bear.
the greatest golfer of all time, the Golden Bear, Donald.
Did you name your son after Jack Nicklaus? Jack? Jack?
Yes. Why does that got to do with it?
Well, it's important because it shows how you hold him in esteem.
Yes.
I just said I hold him in esteem. He's the greatest golfer of all time.
To name your son after somebody, it probably puts it in context for people.
And you lined up for 3/4 an
He
hour to
swallowed
get
it.
an autograph with the rest of the people.
Rocket Rod.
Have you still got his autograph? Jack
Rock-
Nicklaus's autograph?
Rocket Rod has swallowed a dictaphone. You can't shut him up.
Well,
He's like one of those chirpy birds that comes out of a cuckoo
you
clock.
encouraged
Cuckoo, cuckoo.
You encouraged him
Shut
last
the
week.
fuck up. What?
It's your fault. You encouraged him last week.
I'm encouraging him, but he keeps chipping away at
you-
nonsense.
well,
Because you're talking shit, that's why.
I
Come
didn't
on.
bring up my son being called Jack Nicklaus.
Well, mate, just get onto the Golden Bear.
I was getting onto it, and Don said, "Did you call your son after?" And I said, then you chipped in and said, "What's wrong with you people? You got fair fucking dinkum." So Don, Jack Nicklaus came out, and Donald Trump is not the Golden Bear, Jack Nicklaus is. And Jack Nicklaus came out and endorsed Donald Trump wholeheartedly because he said he doesn't want to see the great country that he's made his name in turn into a socialist platform country. So he endorsed Donald Trump. That's
How did that make you feel, Sam? I'm getting to a point. I want to get somewhere on this.
You want to? I haven't started yet.
Yeah, good.
So that just how did it make me feel? Well, I'm a Trump supporter. I have no.
You must have been.
You've taken. Don,
No.
This
'cause
is
you're not-
like.
you're talking
This is
shit.
like. This is. I'm
Because
talking
here's what
shit.
I want to get to. This is what I want to get to, right? Why is it okay for Jack Nicklaus to come out and endorse Donald Trump, but it's not okay for sports people to take a knee and make a political statement?
Hang on a minute. I didn't bring up the Golden Bear. I said we're going to speak about American politics, whether you like it or not, because it's all over the Australian
Golden Bear
news.
makes a political statement. It's wonderful.
You brought up the Golden Bear. I didn't bring him up. I was just about to tell you why a senile, stupid
Why
man...
is it okay for you to make a political statement but not sports people?
I haven't made any statement.
Bullshit. You just said a bloke who's senile and had incontinence.
I'm about to tell you why this is the most important election for our point of view, Australia's point of view, certainly for America's point of view. I was about to tell you why it's important. And you've gone on with, I call my son after Jack Nicklaus? Is Jack Nicklaus, what did you think of it? I didn't bring any of that up. And then you brought Black Lives Matter up, and why do I...
Come on, wind it up.
brought-
Wind it up. Tell us why it's going to be important to Australia and
thank
America.
you.
Thank you. Get
Thank
to the
you.
point.
Right. So Joe Biden, this senile, incontinent, stupid man who is senile, who is just nothing more than a figurehead, he says Donald Trump has got no idea and he's done nothing. Now, I wanted to ask you this. This is what I'm... If I was interviewing Joe Biden, I'd say, okay, Joe, if you get into the president, into the White House, would you reverse... This is what Donald Trump's done. Would you reverse these things? And wait till I get onto the Australian media and the Australian Financial Review. These people are just... right, so would you do this, Joe? Would you reverse the fact that the US Embassy, would you take it from Jerusalem back to where it was, Tel Aviv? Would you defund the US military? Because Donald Trump has built up the US military. Would you not ask NATO to put their 2% in for the National North Atlantic Treaty Organization, which they have been riding on the coattails of America? So Trump's asked them to pony up the money that they owe. Would you not have entered into a dialogue with North Korea, Kim Jong-il or whatever his name is? Would you not have cancelled the Iran nuclear deal, which gives Iran free entree into developing nuclear warheads after a 10-year moratorium that Obama, the most incompetent and unworthy president ever, signed? Would you not commit to tariffs for China? Don't forget China, the greatest threat to this country and America, and who started, what did they start? The Wuhan coronavirus. That's why the whole of the world is in turmoil because of the Chinese. Would you would you have not bombed Syria after they had chemical gas attacks on their population, which is what Donald Trump... Would you have not done that, Joe? Would you have not brokered a peace deal between the United Arab Emirates and Israel? Would you have not done that, Joe? Because that's the Middle East conflict. Would you have stopped the illegal aliens from crossing into America from Mexico and having open borders? Would you have stopped that? Would you have stopped building a wall to stop people coming illegally into America? And would you have stopped fracking and oil exploration, which gave America, for the first time in its history, oil and power independence? Would you have stopped any of those things, Joe, when you say that Trump has done nothing and he has no idea what he's doing? Someone doesn't ask him those questions. And the final thing is that we have a media here in this... I said last week, didn't I? I said, it all depends where you get your news and what you read. The Australian Financial Review, what a bunch of dopey people who write for that paper. They have said they are incompetent. You want to read the Australian Financial Review and read what they say if Trump continues to be the President of the United States. The Australian Financial Review has had the highest, had the greatest financial windfall for that country under his tutelage, and they say it's a bad thing. They have no idea what they're talking. They are brain dead, those people. They said Biden's too old for the job, but he's better than Trump. It is the op-ed people who write that are just completely irrational and dysfunctional. And you talk about, this is why where you get your news, these people are just bigoted, biased dills. I could write better stuff than that because at least I'd be half-balanced about what I say. Half-balanced about what I say.
But in the American Thinker, which is a publication,
yep,
they're calling, if such and such, such and such,
Go
and
on.
such and such, you'd be calling Donald Trump a genius.
Donald.
The masters of the great game, the art of diplomacy and international relations, managed to combine vision and strategic and tactical brilliance.
Yep.
Some played
So
weak hands astutely, while others work from strength to accomplish ambitions. This is an article in the American Thinker.
So people can understand what you're talking about, or you're just reading it out in your own mind?
That they would consider, with circumstances a little bit different, Trump a genius.
Trump is a genius, Donald, but they just dislike him so much they have clouded their judgment. Under any fair system, he should have won the Pulitzer, or not the Pulitzer, the Nobel Peace Prize that they gave to Obama after he'd been in office for one day. They gave him a peace prize. He is the most unworthy, slimy, snake oil person that's ever been in charge of a country, Obama, and he's... Trump, by any stretch, has been a genius, what he's done to that country. You mightn't like him for what he is, but he is for America. And as I say, Joe Biden has got not one answer to any of those things that I read out. And
just tell the people.
left-wing media here, and fancy the Australian Financial Review, who are into finance, I presume. That's the second name of their title, the Australian Financial Review. If Biden becomes a president, the financial institutions around the world will just plummet because he is into socialism, and that is not what a free enterprise capitalist society is on about, and we are still one of those, despite just about every government in Australia being a socialist government or a Labor government.
Now, the article, which I will not read out here, is in the American Thinker for those who want to go in. It's dated the 26th of October, 2020. It's by Douglas I cannot pronounce the name, but it is on Trump. The American Thinker article on the 26th of October. It just is too long, but it gives another point of view about Trump.
That's right.
And he finishes up with, he could have been, or depending on what side, he could have been
you say he gives another point of view about Trump. So 95%. I'm waiting for the Rocket Rod to chip in here because he'll speak. He'll be an ultra crepidarian. He'll speak about things he has no idea what he's talking about. 95% of the articles written in the New York Times have been critical of Donald Trump for 4 years. He has withstood a bogus Russian investigation, which has investigated his alliance with Russia. 4 separate investigations has found that is absolute nonsense. And this third one, the second one that the Australian Financial Review don't mention is the fact that Biden, a bloke called Bobulinski, has come out and said Biden is a corrupt, dishonest ally of China because him and his family have received billions of dollars because he was asked to broker the deal, and they take not one bit of notice of that because they don't want to interrupt Biden's credibility within the next 2 days because that's when the election's up, and they are dishonest. And I'll tell you this. This is William Allen White wrote this.
Oh, come on.
William Allen White.
It's unbelievable, isn't it?
What
is it? Alzheimer's.
Here's a man who can't think of the word he's trying to say, which means that is actually Alzheimer's. You can't think of the word Alzheimer's because you've got Alzheimer's.
Oh.
So
Kettle calling.
So here's this. Have a listen to this. So you've got a little dwarf called a little vertically challenged man called Bruce Springsteen.
Can you have a little dwarf?
Yeah, that's tautology, Donald. A little dwarf.
I see.
One of those is redundant. You've got a little dwarf called Bruce Springsteen who said if Donald Trump gets in, he'll move to Australia. Why would we want to import a traitor? Here's a man who's made his title song, Born in America.
USA.
No, born in the USA.
Oh, that's how much I know about him. I just know he's a short little dwarf. Born in the USA, and now is turning his back on it if Trump gets in it. What a traitor, what a turncoat, what a dog.
He's 5'10".
Came out. I know, I realised...
His daughter's a very good show jump rider. American international show jump.
And
he's 5'10".
Jessica Springsteen.
Yeah, well, he's a dirty little dog.
No, anyway.
Mate, okay, now going back to my point that I tried to make 25 minutes ago, why is it okay for you to insert yourself into politics like this?
Oh, no, I was just...
Let's put aside the message. The message is irrelevant because I know that you agree with the message of Black Lives Matter and that your issue is that it's been hijacked by the Democrats. I get that, okay? So I'm not suggesting you don't agree with the Black Lives Matter underlying message. But why is it okay for you to insert yourself in politics like this and for the Golden Bear to insert himself into politics like this, yet you've got a problem with athletes doing it? Just for 30 seconds before a match, taking a knee or whatever.
Yeah, because...
We just had to put up with that for 20 minutes.
What, put up with what?
You telling us all about who, why and where should be...
No, because it's a bogus argument. It is a ploy. The very fact that people take a knee means that they think that either this country or the United States of America is
John, it depends on what side and what you're thinking. Yes, that article that I was referring to in the American... Yeah, hang on. Listen to... Can I say something?
Is systemically racist. That's the word I was trying.
But they're entitled to say that. I don't agree with everything you just said.
But America and Australia are not systemically racist countries. They are. It is a point of view pushed by people with an agenda.
Entitled to make
and
it.
The Black Lives Matter people, while we agree with the sentiment, the actual sentiment, the Black Lives Matter organisation is a domestic terror organisation, and it is rides on the coattails of saying that both countries are systemically racist, and they're not. And it is a bogus argument.
He's talked for half an hour. Come on, mate. I'm
exhausted.
I'm gone.
So you said why? So you asked me why can I insert myself into politics? I'm one of the few people who think Trump is great and has done a great job for
that makes it okay.
and not afraid to say it. There's plenty of people think he is, but a lot of people are afraid to say it in case they get pilloried because they're cowards. And I will just finally we'll go on then. So I said we're going to chat about American politics. We've chatted about it now, right? So
You
we're
have
finished.
for half an hour. Can you hit the button, end of segment?
Well, have you got anything to offer
I
about
tried
it?
to bring a few things
No,
in
have you
about
got
the
anything to
roadblock.
offer?
I'd like to talk about the bureaucrats, how they're going to release the report for this, what's the name, Coat report in December 21.
Just in time for Christmas.
Just exactly, and everybody's going on
What
hospital.
report are they releasing, Donald? I didn't
The
understand.
findings of the Coat report.
And what is the Coat report?
What
about
we've just
coats?
gone through?
About the handling of the COVID.
Okay, well, why don't you explain what it is?
Why don't we?
Well, Rod knew what the Coat
Well,
inquiry
we're
was about.
speaking to an audience, Donald, who might know what you're talking about.
You don't know what we're talking
I don't
about.
know what you're talking
This has
about.
got a little bit nasty now, hasn't it?
Yes.
No,
Now
it
to
hasn't
the
got
point.
nasty. No, it hasn't
No,
got...
it's something to do locally, which we should be concerned about.
Well, say what it is.
I just said to you, it's interesting that the findings coming out on the 21st of December, just 4 days before Christmas. Who cares about that report? I mean,
It's a report on what?
Geez, the quarantine
Thank you.
of the hotels.
That's the first
in
time
Victoria.
you've mentioned that.
But if you're across it, you
I'm
know
not
that
across it.
Well, Coate is the judge or the lady
Thank you.
who was presiding.
That's
chair.
the judge. Thank you.
Yes.
And she's giving
And she's
a report.
making her findings, or publishing her findings on the 21st of December, 4 days before Christmas, when everybody then is going on holidays.
Yeah, so it's a
and-
political ploy
Oh, it's
to
just,
deflect.
I cannot believe that people would follow Daniel Andrews and the rest of the bureaucrats and his ministers, because how do we know? There's a thing called trust, and there's pretty important thing.
No trust at all, Donald.
But how can you trust these
We've
people?
said-
How do we know we've got zero coronavirus? I would
Because-
not trust these
they're
people.
liars and they're corrupt.
Exactly right.
That's
and
right.
you know the other people who should be blamed is the federal government for giving out job seeker and job keeper, because in Victoria we've put up with this for so long, but we're still getting paid, or people are getting paid, I should say, and so they're not really worried. As long as their pockets are being financed, Daniel Andrews can continue along what he's doing. And so the federal government has also got a part to play in this as well.
And what part have they got to play?
Well, because... did I make sense to you?
yeah, no.
Excuse me, this idiot, Rod. Did I make sense to you about JobKeeper, JobSeeker, and how the people sitting at home in coronavirus were still getting paid?
Yes.
Thank you. Listen to what I say.
No, and I'm
please.
listening, but you were linking that to the Daniel Andrews government.
Exactly, and that's why people are still following or thinking Daniel Andrews is doing a terrific job and not really questioning. We should be having a real inquiry into the corruption of what's going on here in Victoria.
And why aren't we? Because primarily what's happening in America is happening here. The left-wing media don't hold them to be accountable, Donald, because they are basically sympathisers of theirs. They are nothing more than pseudo spokespeople, spokesmen, spokeswomen. When you've got Ida Buttrose, who said she wonders why Harry and Meghan Markle and Harry, the prince of whatever he is, are inserting themselves into American politics. She had a new one ripped for her because they said, why are you saying that they shouldn't enter into a discussion about American politics? She had to almost apologise for it because the activists and the people who have agendas rail up against people who have a different point of view. This is why we get into trouble.
What has this got to do with the Victorian government?
Because the press don't hold them accountable because they're basically on their side. Basically. Now, so we get on to...
regroup.
Sorry?
Let's regroup.
Yes, and I'm going to get on to probably, Donald, a great hero of yours.
Yes.
A great hero of yours who passed away. He was 90. James Bond, Sean Connery.
Sean Connery.
Now, Don, did you like Sean Connery?
Isn't it funny how different things in your life... I can remember watching the first James Bond film at the drive-in.
Yes, called?
Um,
So you
James Bond. Oh, God.
so you can remember it, but you can't
Yeah, I'm
recall
just
it.
trying to think of the first
Well,
one.
I'll give you a hand. Well, I'll give
It
you
was
a
at
hand.
Chadston Drive-In, I think.
Oh, well, that'll give it its name.
Early 60s.
Yeah, that should give it its name.
Goldfinger.
No.
Okay, hang on.
And I'll tell you, this is the first time with 10 minutes.
Just hang on, I'm trying to think.
Now,
of
listen
the
to
first
me.
one.
10 minutes into the film, this will prompt you. 10 minutes into the film, those memorable words, the icon of the picture industry, he said when he snapped the jaws of a Ronson cigarette lighter open while he was sitting at a baccarat table opposite a woman in a red dress, and she said, "And you are?" He said, "Bond."
James Bond.
Well done, Don. Yeah, Bond. James
Shaken
Bond.
but not...
No, he
shaken but-
didn't say that to her, you fucking idiot. That's the first time he said mine. She said, "And you are?" He said, "Bond," as he snapped the jaws of a Ronson lighter open and lit a senior service cigarette. He said, "Bond." James
what
Bond.
was the name of
Dr.
the film?
No.
No.
Oh,
I
don't.
don't-
Fucking hell. Listen to
Dr.
me.
No, I thought that was a later one.
No, that was the first one. Now,
Dr.
Don.
No.
So I want to just do this, Don. You're listening to me? Just say you've been asked to play James Bond in 1964, and they said, "Don, you've got to sit opposite a baccarat table and opposite this woman in a red dress, and you have to deliver these lines when she says, 'I'll be the woman,' right? And I'll say, 'And you are,' and you've got to say,
Don.
Bond. Oh, Don. What you fucking say? Don. Oh, Don. What would you say Don for? You fucking, seriously.
You're a fucking idiot.
Well done, Rocket. So, Don, come here. Come to the microphone. We're doing this scene. You're doing a screen test for the new James Bond movie called Dr. No. I'm going to play that.
Am I the woman?
I'm the fucking
red dress.
I'm the woman in the red dress. And you've got to say, when I say
Bond.
yeah, you've got to say Bond, James Bond. But you have a little beat in between the Bond and the James, because when he says Bond and he snaps the jaws of the lighter open and lights a cigarette, you've got to have
Is
a
it a
beat.
click top one?
It's
Bic.
not. It's
It's a Bic.
It's not a fucking Bic. It's a Ronson lighter. So Don, here we go. You're now auditioning for the part of James Bond. So here we are. We're at the casino, and I say to you, "Hello, I am Gloria Swanson, and you are."
No, it was Pussy Galore, wasn't it?
No, that was in Goldfinger. Remember when Pussy Galore, he said to her, "And what's your name?" And she said, "Pussy Galore." He said, "I must be dreaming." Remember that? So Don, you are now.
You've got it.
Don, you are
What you've got in your
auditioning.
mind.
You are auditioning
Yes.
for James Bond. So I say, "Yes, hello, and your name is?"
James.
Oh, fucking hell! Fuck me! Oh! Gee, it's unreal, isn't it? Is he acting? You are Joe Biden-esque. You are fucked. Now listen.
And he wet himself.
Oh, and he's wetting, and you've just wet.
What is it called?
You've got a pad on. You've got an
Joe Biden incontinence.
Yeah, I just said that. Now, Don, I'm going to do it again. The line is Bond, James Bond, right? Here I go. I'm in the baccarat section of the casino, and I say, I'm Gloria, and you are?
Bond. James Bond.
I'm not too. You could do it just.
That was worth it.
You've got to act, Don. You've got to say Bond, James Bond.
Why don't you do the two? Do both the man and
Well,
the
because I'm playing
You're
opposite.
everything else.
I'm playing opposite you. And pretend you're going to light a cigarette.
Come on, we've gone for... What?
All right. So,
Hang on, can I ask a question?
of course, you've asked a lot today
Yeah,
so
you've-
far.
Bullshit,
So
I
go,
haven't.
no,
Jeez,
go
Don,
ahead.
You have created a monster. You have created a monster.
Don.
You encouraged him last
I
night.
do.
You can't shut him up.
I'm encouraging him to go ahead.
You're
but
saying you can't shut me up. I mean,
Yes.
he spoke for 30 minutes without taking a breath.
I know.
Go on. Go on about what you're going to say.
I want to know that. So Steven Spielberg said in 2005 that Connery was one of only 7 genuine movie stars.
Yes.
I just want to know. So there's no right answer to this because I
No.
think it was a colloquial sort of thing, right?
This is a question without notice.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So who do you reckon the other 6 were? I've got my little list.
Okay, you got the list that
So,
he said.
so thinking about it,
Okay.
there's no right
Clark
answer.
Gable.
No, this isn't the right. No, hang on. I'll start again.
okay.
There is no right answer because I look for it. I think he just said it, as a, saying there's roughly 7. And remember, he said it in 2005.
2005. Oh,
Okay.
Gee.
So I don't think it's Clark. I'd say rule out Clark Gable because he wasn't active at that time. Think about the blokes who were active or blokes or female.
What to think about the blokes beside those who preceded 2005?
Oh, I think so.
From
All right.
2005 on.
We'll tell you. Well,
No,
around that time.
prior
Around that
to
time, who were the 7?
2005.
Well, Clark Gable was prior.
No. Well,
2005, he wasn't.
He was prior to 2005. You imbecile. He was in 1930.
He made the statement in 2005. So, who do you reckon the other 6 were at that time?
Rod, if he made the
okay, you ready?
statement,
I'd
All right, you
say...
just give us your answer.
if he made the statement in 2005,
Okay, John Wayne, Robert Redford...
that's Clark
Will you
Gable.
shut up?
That's a genre of Clark Gable.
What did I say? John Wayne, Clark...
Cary Grant. Think of a woman, Liz
Marlon
Taylor.
Brando.
Marlon, yep, there. So what was wrong with saying Clark Gable?
Well, okay, fine. We've moved it.
Well, you said that the pride...
All right, I'll give you my list in a minute.
Now, male...
Not necessarily.
No, just women, come on. Can you think of anyone? Liz Taylor,
Joan
maybe?
Crawford.
Yes.
Elizabeth
Jean
Taylor.
Harlow, who died at 26.
No.
Oh,
Elizabeth
no.
Taylor.
I said that.
Bette Davis.
1, 2, 3. That's your 6.
I've got... Well, there's a lot more too.
Well,
You
what
go
he
on.
said,
He
on.
said 7.
Oh, gee.
No, we're asking now. Rocket is going to tell us who Spielberg
No,
said.
I don't know. I
Oh,
just
you-
looked it up. He doesn't. He didn't have an answer. That's
there's
why.
so many of
Come
them.
on, Sam, give us yours.
I just gave them.
They were Don's.
But they were mine as well, because when you said Clark Gable, oh, no, not him, because
Well-
he was preceded
put in Cary
2005.
Yeah, he did.
Yep.
Ronald Reagan.
So this is a sign of the times. And I had.
Bob Hope.
You won't be able to know. I had your mate De Niro,
Yep.
Pacino,
Yep.
Nicholson,
Yes.
Hoffman,
Yep.
and at that time I had Hanks and Julia Roberts.
Yep. No, all absolutely
Meryl
valid.
Streep.
I debated her, but I don't
No.
know if she's a star.
Yes,
she's a gun.
She's a star. They're all very valid,
very
valid
everybody.
people.
Gee,
but
thanks.
no, very valid
very
people. But
subjective.
doesn't make.
Anyway.
Of course, it's subjective.
Press the button, Rodney. I'm
No,
sick of this.
hang on, Sam.
What the fuck are you talking about? Press the button. I'm going to do James Bond still. So you can't even say Bond. I said, say Bond, James Bond. You said, what's your name? You said, James. That wasn't even part of it. It was Bond, James Bond. And give us the films. Here you are, that James Bond was played by Sean Connery. Or Sean Connery played James Bond. There is...
Goldfinger.
Right, one. Yeah, this is not necessarily would you know this, Don. This is not a test on your mental acuity. This is just... but these are the... And he was the only Bond. I don't give a stuff what you say. None of the others even would carry his bags.
Rank them for me. Put them in order.
What, the Bond people?
Yeah.
Sean Connery, Roger Moore.
Oh, Roger Moore, what a pussy. George Lazenby.
One show.
No, I'm not putting them in order. I'm just telling you the people who have played him.
Then put them in order.
Just give us the films that he played. James Bond, the films that he played. Sean Connery played James Bond in. Dr. No.
Okay.
Your Goldfinger. From Russia with Love.
Oh, yes.
You Only Live Twice. Thunderball. Never Say Never Again. And that's it. And some great memorable lines in all of them, Donald.
And also theme song.
Yes. Who sang
Never
Thunderball?
Well,
I think Goldfinger was Shirley Bassey. She was
Shirley
Goldfinger.
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 That's so iconic. Didn't Paul McCartney...
Yes, he did.
Never Say Never or something?
You Only Live Twice, I think.
Wings. Paul McCartney.
I think You
Wings.
Only Live Twice.
Oh, was it?
I don't know. So there we are, Donald. So it's interesting, isn't it? And he was purported to have written a letter to Stephen Jobs. Remember that? In 1998, but it was apparently a fake letter saying that don't ever ask him, this is Sean Connery, to do an advertisement for Google or Apple or whatever, because he's nothing more than a computer salesman, and he was fucking James Bond. Don't ask him to ever lower himself to do ads for your company.
Hang on.
No, we're not going. We're not finished yet. We've got plenty more to speak about, haven't we? Or we not? How long have we been going?
What else?
I'd like a break.
Oh, would you, Don? You a bit tired, a bit weary?
Well, I like to talk a little bit about sport.
All right,
we're
we'll
doing
get
that.
on to it. I tell you who we were going to get on. We can preempt this because I was given the name John Van Wisser. He is an ultra-marathon swimmer. And
Tammy
the
is
brother,
his sister. Tammy is his sister.
That's correct.
Yes.
And they're great swimmers.
I know.
Yeah. You know why they're great swimmers? Then I know a person who was a great swimmer, a woman. Her mother was probably it was hereditary. Her mother, not the Wissers, not the Van Wissers, but her mother, another great swimmer that I know, because her mother was a street walker in Venice. That's how she became a great swimmer.